All right, welcome to another episode of A Whiskey Kind of Day. This show is all about the bullshit isms that happen within business. And as a business owner, you go through a lot of things. So if you're an employee throughout your whole life and you haven't started a business, you do not understand that there's a whole back end of things that you have to deal with when running a business, starting a business, paying in people, the amount of money you got to come out of pocket. That's what the show is all about, is we discuss the backside of actually running a business and different types of business. Gabe is running a FUBU mobile shop here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We're going to be talking with an amazing singer. Her name is Tomea, about the business of singing.
That's it.
And we were just talking about how you had to pay for a golf tournament today, and nobody's going to play golf with you tomorrow. So, you paid to get into the golf tournament with a bunch of people, and then everybody flaked on you.
Hey, man, listen, that's just part of it, man. You put together marketing and you do things that you need to do, and sometimes it pan out the way you want it to pan out. Sometimes it don't, man. But guess what? The ball will play, as they say in golf. So I'm gonna get out there and I'm going to enjoy myself, and I'm going to have a couple whiskeys in the middle of hydrating, and yeah, man, I'm gonna have a good time. That's what it's going to come down to. It's going to have a good time. It's going to a good cause. Scholarship is it's a scholarship program for Alpha Merit, which is empowering youth to go on and pursue their passions in college and do and be greater people. That's what it's all about, man. At the end of the day,
is FUBU Mobile getting a lot of branding at the event?
I hope so, man. I hope so. I'm going to.
You gonna be on the brand?
I'm gonna take it, print it on some pieces of paper, and I'm gonna stick it on the side of the golf cart.
That's the one thing you're gonna make sure you're gonna get every bit of your money you spent on this. I'm gonna get every bit of branding I can possibly get out of it.
And I'm gonna put it on balloons. I'm gonna let the balloons go at each one of them.
That's what but that's how you become successful in business. You gotta leave no stone unturned. And any opportunity I have to get my brand and my business and my logo in front of people, no matter small or big, I'm gonna do it.
That's it, man. That's it.
So you're in the state of Texas. The federal government just passed an amazing national holiday of Juneteenth. How is the celebration? Are people in the streets of Texas jumping up and down and jumping for joy here?
It is a very passionate, quiet celebration to the people that actually pay real tribute to the holiday. And it's one of those things is it's just now starting to get the recognition it deserves. It's just now starting to get the spread of education that it's entitled. And there's a lot of misconceptions. There's a lot of confusion that happened during that time, and a lot of myths that hopefully will be dispelled. Now that there are some real true light to what Juneteenth. It really is. And so I'm trying to find different ways from my platform and what I can do to bring some of that education to people. But more than anything, man, it's Freedom Day, man. It is the moment when clarity truly hit everybody. And I mean by everybody, including slave owners as well. Everybody understood at that moment that there was a freedom on the plate for those slaves that were still sitting in Texas. So
was Texas the last Western state last state west to have slaves, like New Mexico, Arizona, California? I don't think there was slavery in those states, right?
That's a good question. Here's the thing, man. I was actually discussing this with a good friend of mine. A lot of what happened with Texas is you have to understand it was a vast state. It was a lot of space between congregations of people, and the interior of the state was more populated than the exterior. So you had to have people when they was coming to Texas, they had to come into Texas, and that's kind of one of the things that we was talking about is there's the messenger got held up, he was kidnapped and all that kind of stuff. He had to cross a lot of people before he got to the masses in the interior parts of Texas to deliver that message. So
what was it San Antonio, Houston, Austin? Was that the area?
Yeah, it was in southern Texas. I don't know exactly what what area.
The southern part of the state.
Yeah, the southern part of the state, and that's one of the things that I'm educating myself on. Is like I said, I want to get more familiar with the actual details.
Yeah,
and I think more people need to get in tune with the actual details on what it is that we're actually celebrating.
So I'm getting a note. So Galveston was where it went.
You know, I thought it was Galveston. I know Galveston have a real big celebration, but I wasn't certain that it was Galveston. So
yes, I could get how they would have to come, depending on the route that they were taking. Maybe they were going through Louisiana and then coming through the.
And Galveston was a big part of a lot of what Texas was doing back in that time, because of the porting city that it was, and so it absolutely makes sense, you know. But yeah, man, like I said, there's a lot to be.
Juneteenth it's been a Black tradition for a number of years. We all know it's like when the last slaves found out they were freed, but actually the historical aspect of it is really kind of unclear to a lot of us. Maybe though a lot of us outside of Texas who don't necessarily know about it. But yeah, it's we know the gist of it, but we don't really know the ins and outs of, you know, what happened, who did what the slaves were told when how they felt, you know, the whole situation.
Correct, man. I mean, I just learned this fun fact here, man. So a buddy of mine was telling me about June, how the phrase Juneteenth actually came to be. You know, my whole thought is June 19th. They just chopped off the 9 part of the teen, and you know, hey, somebody was like, that just sounds cool. He said no, it actually was coined by the fact that people would start celebrating almost kind of in the fashion of Mardi Gras, where it's a celebration leading up to the day. So they would celebrate the 17th, 18th, and the 19th. And the 19th was like the big cook, the big festival of it. So instead of you celebrating June 19th, you celebrated Juneteenth.
Oh, multiple days.
19th. Right. So in fine fashion, on June 17th, even though this is going to air tomorrow, on June 17th, we are celebrating Juneteenth. Yes, sir. Cheers.
All right, I'll drink to that. Now, we have an amazing artist who is from the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Her name is Tomea.
Yeah.
Now, how did you find out about Tomea? Because I can't wait to talk to her about the business of, because this has got to be one of the most, you think you have a hard business of running a store and providing a product. She is the product. And then on top of that, there's a historical aspect of the music industry that is so raggedy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But it is in a state of flux and changing. I can't wait to pick her brain and understand how she makes money and what she has to go through. But how did you find out about Tomea as a singer?
See, it all started back in 1990. I'm not gonna date us. No, man, I've been knowing Tomea since high school. She's wow, she's been an amazing talented singer since I first heard her stand up and really sing some of her best tunes. We actually had a chance. I think one of our most memorable moments is we performed at Harambe Festival here in Dallas. And we performed Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Just like on a whim, we're on stage performing all this other kind of stuff, and we go into Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And the people, after we finished performing, they couldn't believe we were still in high school.
Really?
She killed it. I mean, I was part of that killing, but you know, I can't take credit. Like she's one of, when I think about people that sing, and vocal talents, I always look at how comfortable a person is when they stand up and sing, no added effects, just crystal clear singing. They sit back and they push every note out effortlessly,
singing from the soul.
Everything that they got, like when you can hear the passion, yet they look like they're on a stroll on the beach. It's nothing to them. That is Tomea, man. Like every time when she sings, man, she is effortlessly giving it everything she got, man. You'll never know it. But she is one of those people that she's going to leave it on the stage. She's going to perform it out. And I'm a fan, man. I've always been a fan. And when I got back to Texas, man, I I wasn't playing music, but I knew one thing. I wanted to be a part of the music scene, and I wanted to support people that I believed in. And she's just one of those people that I believe in. And she's about her business. So I was like, man, listen, I got to get on Whiskey Kind of Day and talk about the business of being in this industry, because I've had my ups and downs, but I can only imagine the bullshitism that she's been through.
Well, let's bring Tomea in. How are you, Tomea? We just had a great introduction by Gabe. I didn't realize you guys go back all the way to high school.
Thank you, friend. Oh my God, thank you. I was like, what are we talking about?
I'm only speaking truth, man. Listen, when you speak truth, it flows. That's all. That's what it is.
Well, thank you, friend. And I feel the same about you. I'm super proud of you. I've always been proud of you. You've always been you always thought outside the box. You ain't never been like, if this is the box, Gabriel, like, but what about all that shit over there? Do some of that. So
how was Gabe in high school?
Gabriel was a drum major. That's how we actually got like cool and tight, because back bands, all of that. Back bands, the whole thing. And that's how we got tight. Literally through music. And so I was like the girl hanging with the guys. And then our band director put us together and was like, hey, y'all want to make some money? We were like, yeah. And so we literally have been professional musicians since like 10th grade.
So you said you guys did a rendition of Somewhere Over the Rainbow one night. What are your takeaways from that night?
You know what? We tried to redo it. We tried to do it at another place, and whatever that magic was, I recall exactly what he's talking about. We have not been able to recapture that. I don't know what it was. The spirit of the Harambe ancestors had jumped on us, or what. That it was. We did it. I think we did it at your mom's church. One time.
Yeah. And, it's chasing a high. You know, that's one of those high performances, man. You chasing that for the rest of your career. It's like, man, what happened?
Was it last moment? Was the last thing at the show, or was it planned?
Say it again, boo.
Was it a last minute performance? Was it pre-planned, or was it
that song wasn't planned? I think somebody like requested it or something. We were like, okay. And so everybody just that's
probably what it was that it was on the spot that you did something.
Yeah, we didn't know. Yeah, so that had to have been what it was, because we have not been able to capture that song's particular lightning in a bottle since.
Yeah, you know what happens when you try to recreate something that wasn't pre-planned, you're overthinking it too much. And so when you guys are probably more so in the moment when somebody requested that song and we're going balls to the wall, let's make it happen. Let's cut my heart out. Let me take some liberties and let's see where this goes. And there's a level of excitement in that of like, I'm in the moment in the song compared to let's try to do it again at my mom's church.
Hey man, I think it had a lot to do with the fact that here it is. We are 16, 17, 18 on this stage that's historic for the city of Dallas. We're honored just to be here. And then for somebody to turn around and say, play another song, it's like, oh, y'all like us. Hey, you know, and then we break out with like, hey, what are we gonna do?
We literally have a list. Extra.
Like, you know, so you know, you may be onto something right there, man. But I mean, that was just one of those moments where it's etched in my mind of how great Tomea it really is, because again, I think I was playing drums that show. Travis was playing sax. I think we had Brian on keys. You know, we're not like this well-oiled working, you know, band and you know, performing like 5 nights a week, rehearsing every hour in between. That wasn't who we were. We were high school kids that just worked on our passion on an everyday special, and then here it is. It's like, hey, y'all want to do a show? Yeah, of course we will. What are we gonna do? Put something together. Let's get up there, and then boom, you know, it's just one of the best moments of your life. catapulting you into potentially what is considered a great moment and the gateway into what is a professional career. So,
well, speaking about a professional career, how has your singing journey been from that moment that you engaged at that impromptu somewhere over the rainbow, and doing this on a professional level? Has it been easy breezy, or has it been ups and downs? I mean, how has the whole situation been?
It's been easy breezy. I haven't had any issues. No, I'm lying.
I was about to say, for real?
I couldn't even finish that line. I couldn't even finish the sentence. But you know what? I'll say this. Everything I've gone through has brought me to this exact place. And there's a gospel song that was like, it says, it's by Sean Pace Rose. It's like, if I was in control of my life, there wouldn't be no heartache, no pain, nothing. But I'm not in control. God is in control. And he led me through all those things to show me and teach me. So that's how I feel. If it was my option, hell no, I would have never had to cuss out no club owners. I would never had to, threaten somebody with bodily harm to get my money. Never would have done that. But I had to lead me to this place. So now I am the shrewd businesswoman, if you will. I can spot bullshit a mile away. It's created this whole thing that you see. So it's a necessary evil. But it's been good. I can't complain.
Well, what are some of the bullshits that you've had to deal with?
Wait, before we get into that, so what are you drinking, Tomea, while we dive into this real bullshitisms?
This I don't know. Larry, my assistant, Larry, brought me some wine because I was like, bring me some whiskey. I'm supposed to be drinking whiskey, but I have wine. This is a Moscato. Let me see.
Moscato's not a bad choice. I'm actually on Old Faithful.
All right.
Drinking a little Crown Royal here. What are you? Are you back with us, Don?
I've got a little bit of Don Julio. It's a small little bottle here. I mean, it's all I can afford.
It's a step in the right place. Do you know this man was drinking sparkling water the last time we had the show?
Well, I'm kind of out of Don Julio, so I might have to go get a sparkling water.
I don't mind it, but I'm just saying, like, I know he's better than that.
Isn't this called whiskey?
Isn't it amazing that you try to sit there and do something good and be healthy and ridiculed for it? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, come on.
I'm just trying to you be great. That's all. Keep you great.
Keep me great.
That's peer pressure. Don't let Gabe peer pressure you into that. So you stand strong.
Just trying to make Donna meet you great again.
Yeah, that's all he does. So this is you. Is this you on stage here? I want to look at this here. This is you did a tribute to Anita Baker. Is that what this is?
That's not from the actual tribute, but that is me doing Anita Baker.
Oh. Can I hear something real quick? Let me see this.
'Cause just the other night we had a horrible fight.
I love the whole purpleness of it, the whole situation there. Where was that at?
That was at Sandaga 813 in Deep Ellum.
Gotta love Sandagas. Yeah.
You should have played another clip. You should have played my original song or something.
What's the original song? I mean, I can get it. Come on now.
It's on YouTube. Don't do that.
What's the original song? What's the name of it?
It's called Somebody Lied.
Somebody lied. Donna lied.
Somebody lied. Yes. Somebody lied.
Okay.
Somebody lied.
I've been wanting to ask you this.
Today,
that inspired this song?
You know what? Nothing. Actually, not a thing. I can and people what?
Come on now. This is whiskey.
I'm gonna tell you the story.
Okay, all right.
I'm gonna tell you the story about how I wrote the song. Can I tell you the story?
I'm listening.
All right, here's the story. Where did Donna go?
Is bringing up 3 very lovely girls.
I know you lost somebody.
Okay,
Well, this is what happened. First of all, I want to say that song was featured by Tyler Perry on his hit show for the season 1 finale last year. So that was like superly amazing. But there we go.
Come on now.
That action. So
I knew we were good friends.
I wrote that song in the original recording because when I write songs, my best songs are songs that just pop into my head. And I started singing and I recorded on my phone. So when I did that song, I was doing laundry.
You were doing the laundry?
Yeah, I was like putting clothes.
So somebody said they had cleaned their drawers, and then you was going through laundry and it didn't have. You like somebody that lied. Somebody lied.
No, Gabriel. No. But no, it literally, God, the Holy Spirit gave me the song, and I was like, and I was like, oh, that sounds like a song. And I started recording it on my phone while I was doing the laundry. And I literally, the original recording of it is the same vocals like this. And I sent it to my friend that's a producer and a musician. And I said, what I feel with this song is like Aretha Franklin sitting down at the piano and just playing and singing. And can you hear the music I hear from what I sang? And he literally, this track, he sent me like maybe 15 tracks. I didn't even get to the second track because the first one, I was like, that's it. He's like, well, did you listen to it? I did a jazzy version. I did this version. I was like, nope. This is what I heard, and this is it. And that's what we went in and I recorded.
That is dope. There you go.
That's a dope. I like this is the first time I actually hearing the song. It sounds amazing.
Well, thank you. It was featured by Tyler Perry on his show, Sisters. I don't know if you watch Tyler Perry, but you know.
Yeah. I'm a little disheartened that it wasn't about nothing, but you know, I'll still listen to it. That just shows how great you are as a lyricist, okay, and as an artist and a writer.
To capture somebody else's pain and deliver
somebody else's pain, you know.
It wasn't because I slap people, so you know.
No, for real. I've seen her like slap people, like yeah.
Oh wow.
Really, Gabriel? Really?
Hey, what? Somebody lied, right? Somebody lied.
So going back to the clubs and working, what are some of the bullshit that you had to deal with as far as being like? Do you have a manager? Do you have a agent that takes care of the business aspect, or are you kind of doing everything yourself? So it's all you. So what?
You know what? I've attempted to have managers and people. Oh, Tomea, I want to help you. But I haven't found one that goes as hard for me as I go for me. Gotcha. Like everything that I've gotten, the placement with Tyler Perry, I just did DJ Spinderella's wedding a few weeks ago.
Oh wow!
I was flown to Destin to perform on a yacht, and the next day, Jamie Foxx rented the same yacht. I was like, oh shit. That's all stuff I did. Wow. Nobody has. If there's someone out there that can do better for me than I'm doing for me, then by all means, come on. But I have not met that person. Now, that doesn't mean I don't have a great team of people supporting me, encouraging me, and helping me. Because Gabriel is one of my good friends that's always like, hey, Tomea, look at this. Hey, Tomea, let's do this. Send me your information for that. And he's not the only one. So while I'm the boss, I'm the head of the company, I'm the owner, the CEO, and all that, I do have a great support system of friends and family that are helping me to be able to do these things and reach these goals. But as far as a manager, I ain't got a man. Because I'm going to get somebody 15% of what I'm already doing anyway.
So what are some of the things that you've had to deal with as far as getting booked at shows and clubs and having and dealing with like money when it comes to getting money?
Well, people like to it's been all kinds of stuff. How long is this show?
No, have you been hit with the the door wasn't that good tonight?
Listen, let me tell you. And I'm gonna say the name. I don't give a damn. It was Sankofa when they were in Addison, and I don't care because stop me when I'm lying, and I still will bust. Lord forgive me, but it was Sankofa in Addison. I was with another band at the time, and we had performed there, and he didn't pay us.
Oh my goodness.
So then, we calling him. He ducking the band leader, not answering, not so. Months had passed, literally like 9 months had passed.
What's protocol for getting paid as far as time wise? That night, a day or two? Yeah.
I require a 50% non-refundable deposit off the top.
Okay.
And when I walk in there, and you see my beautiful brown face and whatever color hair I have this week, I need my money.
Before you hit the stage.
And my band knows. They be like, "Are we good? Can we set up?" Yes, go on ahead and set up.
So what happened with this time? They're like,
well, first of all, it wasn't my band. It was when I was with another band. But dude just didn't pay us. So then he called us back. He must have forgot he didn't pay us because it had literally 9 months had passed. And yeah, so when he called us back, and the band leader was like, "Dude, you still owe us money from the last time we was there." So he came up with a deal. He was like, "Okay, I'm gonna pay you for this night, and then I'm gonna pay you half of what I owe you from the last time, right? And then when you come back next week, I'm gonna pay you the other half of what I owe you, and then what I owe you for that night." We were like, my face was exactly the face you had, Don.
Yeah,
but it wasn't my
pay me what you owe me.
But you wasn't running this ship, right? Okay.
It wasn't my band, but we ride, and this was when it was in Addison. So I don't roll from Oak Cliff. I'm in Addison now.
And just the people that are watching the show that are not from Dallas, Oak Cliff. Yeah. You're looking at a couple different freeway changes. It's a nice little drive.
A tollway.
Where is Addison? Addison is south, north.
It's north. It's a north suburb of Dallas.
Like Decatur. I mean Denton, sort of.
Not that far.
Not that far.
But going that direction.
Yeah. Going that direction. Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
when we get, I'm there, and the band leader was like, "Oh, he called me and was like, oh boy, just canceled us." And I was like, "Well, I'm here. I'm gonna go ahead and get our money that he owes us." And he was like,
"Because he got to pay you regardless, right? Like that's the thing,
right?
You can't not cancel me
because you owe me money." So it was me and the drummer that were already there. And so he was like, "What you gonna do?" I was like, "I'm finna get our money. Call Sean and find out how much money was it. What does he owe us?" So he told me what it was. And so I went in there and the guy was like, "I ain't paying you nothing." I said, "Who you talking to?" Because see, the catch is, oh boy is only like 4'11", 100 pounds. I'm 5'4", 200 something, but I was raised with all boys. I grew up in a house full of boys, fighting and tussling and shit.
So you know how you can get down.
I can listen. I'm saying like this: I ain't never been beat up. That's all I'm saying.
So let me get to the business of this. So 50% deposit before the show to book you. You show up now. Is there a cancellation date here? Like, hey. Do I got to cancel you a day before and I don't have to pay you the rest and I just lose the deposit? Or if you don't cancel me and I show up, you still owe me the money regardless of whether or not the night's canceled?
Yeah. Well, because it's like this, because the deposits are non-refundable, period. I don't care.
That holds the date for you, right? That's like, hey, I'm a date in for you.
I do give people, I think it's like, I'm trying to think back to my contract, like 5 days before, and you're fine. But if it's less than 5 days, you need to go on and ask my money.
Okay.
Because I could have booked something else.
Yes, absolutely, yeah, and that's only fair though. That's only fair. At the end of the day, that's really only fair.
And that's real, man. I mean, the music industry can be very, very cutthroat, if you will, from both sides of it. I mean, because you got these business owners who have these restaurant bars, and they're looking at the bottom line and saying, "Hey, if I bring this band in," when I know the biggest thing for me is when I was performing around town, people be like, "Man, for the price of your band, I can pay a DJ 3-4 nights." Yeah, but that DJ ain't gonna do the same thing for your club that I'm gonna do. You know,
well, there is something about live entertainment.
It's a whole, and especially and I could say this about Tomea: when you know your worth, that's the real thing, man. It's like musicians, when you have a talent, a true talent, and you know your worth, that's what gives you that ability to walk in with the confidence and say, "Run me my money," because I know I gave you more than what you actually owe.
Well, that and also you may have a following that's going to follow you to the club at the same time too. You know what I'm saying?
That's what it really is. That's exactly what it is. I mean, you didn't pack this club out tonight because you were selling half off on drinks. You sold it because of me.
So what other issues? So we've had issues to where you're having to go chase the promoter down to get your money from the club. What other issues have you dealt with as far as trying to get paid, or have you run into any recording contract or recording deals to where you haven't get paid, like Tyler Perry using your song on Sisters? Was that? Am I hitting a?
Well, you know, we're not gonna say Tyler Perry because it's a lot of people between me and him and my song being used. Okay. But I will say that when my song it went fast because we had sent my co-writer, the guy who created the music, had asked me. He's like, "Hey, my friend is working with what was his show? Not Power, but the other one. What's the motherfucker? Empire. And they're looking for songs. Do you mind if I send our song in?" I'm like, "Oh, sure." He's like, "They're looking for neo soul songs, but we can throw our hat in the ring anyway." I'm like, "Yeah." Worst they can do is say no, thank you. But then it was announced that they were done. That was going to be their last season. Months passed, nothing happened. Then we get a call on a Monday saying, "Hey, Tyler Perry might be using you guys' as song." And I'm like, "What? Whose song?" And we're like, "Well, we'll know for sure tomorrow." Oh, okay. So we get a call on Tuesday. Tyler Perry's going to use your song. I need a picture. I need the splits on the song. And I had to send a couple of other things. Because they're like, "We're gonna create a flyer for it, and y'all we can go ahead and promote it." And I was like, "Oh, well, when?" "Oh, they're gonna use it tomorrow." So I got called on a Monday by my co-writer saying, "Hey, Tyler Perry's thinking about using our song." To Tuesday, we'll let you know. Then by Tuesday evening, "Oh, Tyler, it's went to press or whatever it's considered for TV," and he was like, "Yeah, it'll air tomorrow." And I was like, "Wait a minute, we haven't signed any papers." We haven't. No paperwork has been signed with nobody, and like nobody knows this part of it because everybody's been asking me, "How did you get it? What happened? When did it?" So we were just, quiet because I'm like, I'm the queen of put it on paper, and here I am with a song that just aired to 1.4 million people,
and you let me ride.
Work. But
did you get promotional? Did you get promotion?
Right? Do I have what?
Did you get any promotion off of that? I mean, did they?
Well, I think they created a flyer and the synchronization company. They put us on their website, put it on their Instagram page. It was on the BET, IG, Twitter, all of my picture and the other artists whose song they used that night. And everything ended up working out. We got the contracts, everything right. We got our little coins or whatever.
It was sketchy for a second.
And it was because there was a lot of back and forth between not us and Tyler Perry. I want to be clear because I need him to want to use my shit again.
Right.
But me and the company that sent him our music, because their business was straight with him. It was their business with us.
I got you.
They wanted to have it in perpetuity. They're like, "Well, once you make X amount of dollars, we want to own it. Well, not own it, but basically own it in perpetuity."
Dave Chappelle in perpetuity throughout the known universe.
The universe.
Forever.
What if I don't like y'all like that forever and ever and ever? I don't.
That's what Dave Chappelle was like. You want my name and my likeness throughout the known universe in perpetuity?
Forever, till Jesus return. Until
Jesus return? And I get, how much do I get off of this? $50?
Right.
Wow.
So once, and because they knew that they had used our song and we didn't have paperwork, they kind of had to bend to us because We were like, look, all the attorneys were like, let us go. All the attorneys was like, let's go to court. They're like, why are y'all even still talking to them? There's nothing to talk about.
But I guess you don't want to mess up a relationship if it doesn't have to be messed up. Let's work. Let's see if we can work something out before we.
It was a relationship thing, but they knew that okay, we're gonna have to. No, under normal circumstances, if we would have already had an agreement with him, we would not have gotten the deal that we have with our song. But because it happened like it did prior to us having paperwork, an agreement, a contract with them, they kind of had to bend to us saying, hell no, not forever. We'll work with y'all for 5 years. And if it's good, then we'll continue. If it's not, run me all my publishing back.
So, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. Let me ask you this. Dallas is one of those places where people have consistently put second to Houston when it comes to music. I feel like that's a myth in the sense that I support my people. Everybody that I know that's actually doing quality work in Dallas is doing it.
Let me tell you why we're second.
Okay.
In Houston, their music scene is unified.
What do you mean unified? Everybody just messing with everybody?
Yes. I'll give you a quick example. There was a Dallas versus Houston little sing-off thing event they came up with. Houston arrived as a team. Like, this is our show. This is what we're going to do. Put smack down on Dallas. Dallas arrived as a bunch of people from Dallas. Instead of saying, let's all work together to show that we the ones. Instead, you had one person doing this. And you're like, wait a minute, that's not what we said we were going to do. It was a whole mess.
Wow.
So that's the thing that I can tell you why anywhere is better than us musically, because it's a lot of clicks.
Wow.
And I say this all the time. I put our vocalists, our musicians, our producers, our songwriters against anybody, any city. We're top tier, but where we're gonna fuck up, we're not gonna work together because you didn't go to X school with me. You only played for Kirk Franklin one time. I played for him 3 times. You friends with her, and she used to go with my baby daddy, so I can't fool with you. Like a bunch of foolishness that has nothing to do with
I don't understand what that's about, because listen,
I don't either.
Out of any state's music, and I spent time in Texas, in Dallas, and North Texas, and Wichita Falls, Texas, and I was there during the rise of Swisher House and Hawk and Oak Cliff Assassins, DSR, all them. I love Texas hip hop, R&B music. I just love it. Even a little bit of Louisiana. I love it. To me, it just hits harder than any other music. And I'm from LA and I live in LA. It just hits harder, especially when it's slowed down. You know what I'm saying? When it's slabbed, baby. All right. Especially when it's slabbed out.
Hey, let me just, I'm sorry. I got it. So Tomea, just so you know, when I met this dude, he was driving a Cadillac 2-tone in LA. And I'm like, yo, he has got to be hitting every pothole known to man.
Candy paint, candy red, candy silver, blue pinstripe, candy red rims on one side, chrome on the other, sitting on 22s.
He picked me up. We were going to an event. And this is the day I met him, when he pulled up, and I'm looking at this Cadillac, yo, who is this dude? So when he say he like immersed himself in the Texas culture,
he in it.
He was in it. He was in it.
I had me a 96 DeVille at a 2001 DTS. And if I get a chance, I'm gonna buy another Cadillac DTS North Star engine, recreate that car again, because I love that car.
Hey,
wow.
It was a slab all day.
Straight up. So I don't understand the whole, and listen, I'm not from Texas, so I don't understand the whole north-south thing. I'm just now finding out that there is different cultures within Texas, and that there's a difference between North Texas and South Texas. To me, I just looked at it all as one thing. You know what I'm saying? Because I loved it because the music scene. Like when I left LA, you know, we're bougie out here in LA. We got a music scene out here, but it's not like it was back in the early 90s. When I got to Texas, you know, the music scene, y'all had record stores, people still bought albums, people bought local music more than national music, and there was a audience for anything banging. Go to a screw shop, put your music in it, whether it's R&B, hip hop, whatever. And I admired that so much because I never saw that anywhere else. I never saw that in California. You know, we get a few artists here and there that pop here, but the music and the love for Texas artists, it was just dope. And then the music just hit differently.
Yeah, well, it ain't like them.
maybe,
but there's a new breed. There's a new breed.
Maybe this is the moment that we need to come together and bring it back.
Absolutely. There's a new
I'm for everybody. I'm like Issa Rae. I'm rooting for everybody black. Everybody from Oak Cliff. I'm with it. Let's go.
There is a new. I think there is a new wave of artistry coming out of Texas. I've started seeing with Toby and Wigway out of Houston. I love the guy. You know what I'm saying? He's super dope, and he's been at it, and his music is dope, and he's got his own.
Let me say this, man. One thing that I've really gravitated towards him that makes sense when it comes to how popular he is. He is so authentic and transparent.
Absolutely.
And I think that is what Texas is really about when it comes to the black culture of Texas, because of the misconceptions that we have with being Texas and being black. I can't tell you how many times somebody was like, "Oh, you from Texas, man? You got a pair of cowboy boots and a cowboy hat." Man, I ain't never been on a ranch. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the hood, just like you from the hood, but you know, that's the perspective of being just from Texas. And so being authentic and being transparent with his music, it resonates differently with other Texas people that live that same life. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, like you said, when you start transitioning that into the East Coast and the West Coast, then it's like, oh, well, they ain't that much different than we are.
Nope.
And every artist that has come from Texas that has lived that same dynamic, man, has been wildly successful. And I think, man, it's just going to be that way with him. He's going to continue to grow, man, because he's too authentic, man, to stop.
Yeah, as long as he stays true to his authenticity, he's going to styles.
You know, that's a great segue here. How do you separate yourself from what else is out there in the market? Because there's a lot of R&B singers out there, a lot of musicians out there. What separates you? I mean, you obviously have an amazing look and you have a very amazing voice, you know, but what separates you from everybody else?
I do what they can't do.
Which is
me.
Ah, okay.
And I think because I think my influences, even with the other singers here in the Metroplex, my vocal influences are way different from theirs. Where most people, if you ask them, what's your favorite gospel group? They're going to say Clark Sisters. Mine was the Pace Sisters. It was like 52 of them. And it sounded like one voice. Like,
come on.
That like blew my mind. So that's who I grew up singing like, and Patti LaBelle, and singing like Shaka Khan, and singing like Malara, and singing like Melissa Morgan, and singing like Regina Bell, like all those type of stand and sing type girls. That's Whitney Houston. That's who I was listening to as a little girl.
Well, let me ask you. How do you got inspired by those artists? How do you take that inspiration and make it your own? Like, how do you craft yourself as a singer and a performer from using that influence? It's not necessarily copying them, but using that inspiration, because you have an amazing look, you have an amazing voice. Like, how do you start to define who you are as an individual when you're performing on the stage? How does that work?
You know what? I really, in all honesty, I use my real me, my personality. So the Tomea on stage is the Tomea in the grocery store, is the Tomea wherever, because I don't know how to not be me. You know how some people like, oh, I go into this zone when I get on stage. Child, listen, y'all gonna get, hey, the Lord only put one me inside of this particular body. So here you get it. You're gonna get her singing, you can get her cussing. So I don't know how else to answer that. I just am the same Tomea everywhere, all the time. I'm just me. I'm a combination, a beautiful mix of all, my grandmothers, because they didn't take shit off nobody, and I got double dose of that. So that's just who I am.
What was there a level of like? You have to have a level of confidence to expose yourself. I mean, there are your friends and family who know you.
Listen,
you obviously have a big personality, but like,
I've literally been on stage and Tomea has like divulged personal information. And it's just like, yo, we don't need to know all of that, to appreciate what you're singing right now. But that is, in my opinion, what makes her an amazing performer. Because one of the things that we learned, and I appreciate, I did an interview a couple of days ago, and I was actually talking about Dean Hill, who was our band director. One of the things that he instilled in us at a young age was, as a performer, you have to understand that what you're presenting off of that stage is just as important as what you are actually playing. So the whole concept of you play a wrong note, once you play that wrong note, did you look like you played a wrong note? Did you act like you played a wrong note? Or did you act like that was meant to be?
No.
And that was his thing. He was like, man, give it everything you got. Give them people everything that they paid for and more. And they're going to come back and they're going to support you every single way. And I honestly thinking back to that Harambe Festival concert, that's what we went on stage with. We went on stage with the understanding that we was going to give them people everything that we had and more, whether they paid for it or not. Mm-hmm. And when I see Tomea perform, she is giving you everything that she has on that stage. I mean, whether you want it or not, she gonna get it to you.
You don't get these songs.
You about to get this. You about to get cussed out if you don't tip.
Oh wow.
You about to get the song that she playing, and then the song that she liked that somebody recommended, but she didn't like, but she's gonna do it because they tip. Like, she gonna give you all of that. But
so, how did you get that confidence level to do that though? Like, was this something that you were just like? Did you come? Because for some people, it's a hard thing to expose themselves and be comfortable with who you are. Is this something that you just were naturally comfortable with, and saying this is just me, and that it's not just a singing experience, that you're going to get the Tomea experience?
Yeah.
Or is that something you grew into?
A little bit of both. It's always been there, and I always like had the ability to sing like everybody else. For the most part, I started singing in church beside my mom, and it started when she used to do this song. And my mom, she has a voice kind of like Mahalia Jackson, but really kind of alto tenorish voice, and it has some high notes she can hit. And she heard me singing, and she was like, "That's it right there. You gonna come and sing the high notes for me, in church." And the song was called "Tell Them" by Andre Crouch. So that's where it started. At first, I was like kind of sitting behind her leg, like, I don't know. It's one thing I'm singing loud, but now people looking at me. And she was like, "Girl." So I was only shy like that one time.
So what was that experience like when you got out there and you felt that out? I mean, did it just like, was it the energy from the crowd that kind of just made all of the insecurities kind of fade away, or it
was the Holy Spirit. And I know people like, what? But it was God. It was the Holy Spirit, because I've always been able to sing. That's the one thing that I did not have to work for. I know it was a gift. I know it was given to me. I know I was chosen for it. And I always feel like, well, he wouldn't have gave me this big old voice if he didn't want nobody to hear it. So y'all finna get this voice. Y'all finna get it.
So this faith that God gave me this gift, and my faith in God says, listen, I got to use it. That made it comfortable to where you get out and say, there's nothing to be scared about.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I knew
Wow.
I sounded good. So I was like, well, shit, let's go.
Well,
no,
if
but
I
I mean,
sounded bad, I probably would have been like, ooh, let me sing.
I'm about to be messy real quick. You talk about church. So do you think that church can sometimes give singers a false sense of reality?
Yes.
Well, I listen, I always say when you sing for God, you don't have to be good.
Lies.
No. Listen, when you singing for the Lord don't care what
right.
you sound.
There's a joyful noise. You are absolutely correct. But people need to know that what is. But see, church now has turned into a whole.
It's the voice now. All of a sudden,
right?
That's a club. That's a concert.
When people would sing bad, I would always say, "Oh, look, she's singing for the Lord." You know, I would always use about to say, "She's singing for the Lord. Look at her. You go, girl."
I say, "Bless your heart, bless her."
You good, baby. You good,
baby.
He let the Lord use you, baby.
Yeah. Let the Lord use you.
Listen, I maybe I thought it was just me, but I truly believe sometimes. We tell people to sing for the Lord, and we give them that false sense of hope in the church, and then they go out in the world, and they are not giving their best
crushed
in them.
Well, let me ask you a question about this. You know when you're singing a bad note, right?
Yeah.
No. I'm gonna say this. So, some years back, I was. This wasn't a performance, but it was kind of like a performance. I was in a group. We were singing, and in my mind, I was okay. I was okay.
It wasn't shaky.
No. I was there. I was committed.
So you were like, whoa.
Man, listen. I was Jodeci looking at Martin Lawrence type of.
Oh.
In that, and somebody said, "Hey, are you tone deaf?" Excuse me?
Yes, you are.
I didn't understand. I was like, "What? You coming at me sideways? Like I'm killing it right now, and you trying to throw shade my way." And what I didn't realize I wasn't tone deaf, but I was mimicking the person next to me, and since I wasn't vocally that solid, I was really focusing on him, and he was bad. And so I was just as bad, but I was bad and loud.
Oh, you didn't know he was bad?
I didn't know he was bad. Oh. And so I think that's what happens a lot of times people come out of the church thinking they're a lot better than what they are. And because they've been given all these accolades from church that they don't have, their ego is so in place that they can't even receive any truth.
Look, I have the passion to sing. I love to sing, but I can't hold a note.
No, you can't.
Whatsoever.
Don't do it.
I wish I could. I know I can't. I've recorded myself.
That's really good.
I've listened to myself. I just know I don't got it. I wish I did, but I got the passion.
Leave it alone.
Gabriel, do you recall one time with Mr. Hill when he was trying to get you guys to be background singers? Do you recall that?
I know a couple of times in which I personally attempted to be a background singer, and it didn't fare very well.
Yeah, so I was gonna say you should have held on to that memory from high school and said, you know what, y'all, you're not in my wheelhouse.
Was somebody trying to tell him something by putting him in the background?
No. He was trying to. Mr. Hill was trying to see Hill because at the time I was the only vocalist.
So let me just say this: so being a musician, there's a certain level of musicianship that transitions between crafts. So although I'm a musician, I can hold a note,
an arrogance of like I can
But
sing
it
in
takes
choir.
work for me to hold the right note in the right setting.
So you audition for the background. You
No,
like
when you get into these bands, a lot of times when you playing ancillary instruments, there are going to be moments where they say, "Well, hey, you're not playing all the time, so how about you double as a background?" And so the moment that she's talking about is those one of those moments where you say, "Hey, I need you to double as a background. Can you?" And it's like, "Well, yeah, I can hold a note. We probably want to practice that about 6 times before I get on stage and do it."
so you're not a run and gun.
Yeah, we didn't have that practice. We didn't have that practice before.
Let me just say, we ended up bringing another vocalist in. Mr. Hill was like, "Fuck this bullshit."
You gotta do that. You ain't gotta tell people everything. You ain't gotta do that.
Well,
that ain't of Jesus. That ain't of Jesus.
Mr. Hill decided that there was another young lady that we would compliment one another vocally, and he brought her in.
She was okay.
All right, so listen, I want to cover what we talked about so far. When somebody books you for a deal, make sure you get your money up front and before the gig. Number one, what separates you from the market is you being yourself and being authentic. And if you ain't at a point where you can be authentic with yourself, then you probably don't need to be on stage, right? Because you're not going to be successful. Number two, know that you can sing. Just because you can sing in church or you were in a band playing a trumpet for
that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing.
You can't necessarily be a background singer for the choir.
And appreciate all this targeting.
To me, I want to ask you about any business deals. What do you? And I'm sure you've gotten into agreements. You said you were working with a company that works on licensing music for TV companies. Can you tell us when you can spot a bad deal from your experience? Like when something is maybe not, there may be some money in front of you, but it's just not worth it.
When they want you to give up a lot. And what I mean by that,
what's a lot? What's a lot though? What's a lot to an artist?
Like for me, being an independent artist, all I have is the ownership of the songs I've created, I've sung, I've written. So when somebody says they want 50%, 70% for 10, 20, forever, and they want and okay, we're gonna manage your publishing and all the money will come through us, and then we'll pay you what your cut will be after we get our money. And it's like, no, fool.
Is it the money that they bring in, or is it all the money off of the song? So let's say you've got money
for the song. So it's like
even if it comes from other sources outside of them,
right?
They want to cut of that also.
Because they didn't know you before you met us, so you only got that money because you're dealing with us. So that's our money too.
Oh
wow!
It's called a 360 deal. And not even a 360 deal. That's just how, if you read any standard record contract, that's how it is.
Well, so I thought 360 deals were one company wanted publishing.
They want everything that you do. If I get a commercial with McDonald's, they want a piece of that too. If I do something with Beats headphones, they want to cut of that too. Even if that's something that they approach me with on the side, like, "Hey, Tomea, we like you." We own all that shit. We own her name. We own her likeness. Y'all got to go through us to get.
Wow.
So it's better to watch. So if they start asking for is there a point that you would give them a percentage of something for that? I mean, is there a minimum that you would give them if they did bring something to the table? Is it better just to walk away from deals like that altogether? Because let's say they come to you and say, listen, we can get your song on NBC, The Voice, all these other things, but we want 15% in perpetuity off of this, whatever the song makes. Is that a good deal?
15% is not a lot of percent. So I'm like, okay, I can deal with that. 15% of $100,000. Okay, that still leave me enough money to buy something. But they ain't asking for 15%. They want to give me the 15%, and they have the.
That's so weird. Like, you know, and that's so predatory, though. You know, and it should really be illegal that you pour your heart and soul and your creative ideology and your creative soul into creating this intellectual property that somebody wants to go and market, and because they may have connections, they want all of the money. And it's like, yo, you're almost stealing the God gift, stealing and monetizing, and not really giving me a decent cut out of my God-given talent.
That's the record industry, period. What you just said, that's them, period. Have you ever watched the episode of Unsung?
I have watched the episode. Yeah. I've seen
every episode is the same.
Matter of fact, I was just watching. TLC had popped up. I was scrolling on TikTok or something like that, and they were TLC when they won the Grammys and holding that famous press conference talking about we just won 4-5 Grammys, but we broke, you know. And I was just looking back at that. And I'm like, wow, you know, there's just puppets.
It's a real reality. It is a real reality. I'm going to ask you this, Tomea. So, if someone is in the music industry, let's say they are singing or they're just a lead instrumentalist, what are some of the things that you would give them to start out transitioning from novice to professional musicianship?
I would tell them to not even focus, and it's going to sound very contrary, but to not even focus on the musicianship, because 9 times out of 10, that's something that you didn't work hard for anyway. It's something that was God-given, something that you were born with. I would say learn the business of music. Know how to. Don't be so excited for somebody to say, "Here's $10,000," but you're not realizing, you ain't read the black and white. They done made $1 million, but they only giving you 10,000. So I would tell them learn the business of music. There are free classes. I even took one. USC, was it USC? One of these schools, Berkeley School of Music. They have an intro to music business class that they give away for free. You can take it online. And there are 2 books that I've read. One is Everything You Need to Know About the Music Business.
I've heard about that book.
And then the other one, I cannot think of the man's name, but he's actually the guy who taught the class for USC. He wrote a book about the legal portion, which is what we literally followed when we were working our deal with the Tyler Perry using our song. And prior to us getting some attorneys, and once we talked to the attorneys, my co-writer was like, shit, you could have did that without them, because everything you said is what the attorney said. I'm like, yes, I'm gonna take my time and read, and what I don't understand, I'm gonna get a dictionary and understand it. So I would tell them, learning is free. I would tell them to literally have those 2 books in there, like hold them. I carry mine around like the Bible, literally. Wow. They're in my bag every day, because you just don't know. So when we were looking at that contract, he had copies of contracts in the book, and I was going line for line with this contract. I'm like, okay, that's standard. And some things are standard. But I would tell them, learn the business. Do not ever be so eager for them dangling the carrot in your face that you can take it, because that's where they get you. When you're excited about whatever and you're emotional, you're happy, and they're thinking we're gonna give them this, and y'all gonna. No, hold up, everybody, stop. It's great. This is wonderful, but let me look at the paperwork again.
Mm-hmm. No, but you're absolutely right, though. You're absolutely right. You would literally have to stay focused. All right, so everything you need to know about the music business, the School of Berkeley Music online. I think I've seen that online. They have a class, and what was the last one?
I don't know what I said.
Rewind it. All right, listen, we got to wrap things up. I just want to ask you one last question. What was it like, and what was the feeling like when you said, "I'm going to do this professionally. I'm going to take this God-given talent of singing and performing professionally"? And what was the feeling like when you got your first paid gig, to where it's like, wow, someone's paying me for this natural thing that's inside of me? Like, what was that feeling like?
Well, my first paid gig was in high school. And we were so rich in high school. We were rich. Gabriel was laughing because, like, literally, Mr. Hill, and I wrote a post about it. I'm like, he is the reason that I am the business lady like I am, because we knew how to set a stage. We knew how to come dressed. You know, if it's a formal event, like we were in our gowns. And,
so he kicked down game. Y'all got.
He literally schooled us.
I don't want to cut her off, but real talk, man. Dean Hill, he was one of those people that he was an educator, but 9 to 5. After 5, he was like, "Yo, let me teach you the game."
Wow.
And we're just a small drop in the bucket. There are students, and we went to a magnet high school. We didn't go to the art high school. We were both in the health magnet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we were, studying medicine.
Right.
So it was in addition to. This was not part of our school's program. So we were spending time after school. It wasn't no time during school, really. But Dean Hill, he laid the foundation. And when I saw the amount of money that we could make, and when I say we were in high school making $500, $600, $700 a piece for a show.
Oh, wow.
No, he taught worth, man. Like when I tell you, he
a piece, and it was like 10 of us, 7 of us, 8 of us. So
where
we
were y'all performing? Because I performed in the band. And
listen. So when you grab somebody and you say, "I know I can put you in front of the mayor," he was one of those type of people. He can come up with a gig that you would never have an opportunity to get in front of with
Jack and Jill. Listen, all the bougie Negroes here in the Metroplex, for lack of a better term, let the little children from the hood come and perform at their little bougie balls while they did their waltzes or whatever. And so we did Jack and Jill. We did something for the AKAs. We did something for the city of Dallas. We did something for Parkland Hospital. Like, we were doing balls and galas, like ticketed events.
I feel taken advantage of. You
know
that?
You are.
I went to I played. I was in the marching band at Santa Monica High School here in Los Angeles, and they would have. Do you guys remember the movie "It's a Low Down Dirty Shame"?
Yes.
Okay. So there's a point in a hotel where he's jumping out of the window and he drops into the limousine.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that was right across the street from my high school in Santa Monica. Oh, yeah. And so that hotel we used to go play Christmas music at during Christmas time. I didn't get a dime from that. They wanted a quartet. I was part of the trombone. I didn't get a dime for that. But I'm starting to think somebody got paid for that.
Somebody got a dime.
Let me tell you. And then Mr. Hill, he taught us the game because, he would lay the business out. We got paid X amount of dollars. I booked it. It's my equipment. I get 15% off the top. Now, y'all get to divide the rest amongst yourselves.
Hey.
And he would pay us out, cash money each time. I remember one time, Gabriel, I don't know if you were in there, but the band was mad because I got paid the same amount they did.
I was there.
And they were like, "She didn't sing. We played that waltz."
We saw like 2 or 3 songs that we had turned around and played like 15. And everybody's like, "Why she get paid the same amount?" He was like, "Hey, because she's a singer. She's a talent."
And he was like, "If y'all want to really do a business scale, the singer always gets paid more. Do y'all want to do it like that?" And they were like, "Nah, we good. Go on, divide it."
I got mad respect to that guy because he probably didn't have to do that. And
he has a long line of musicians that can say that Dean Hill was part of this. Jason Davis, It's so many.
Roy Hargrove. We're just a small portion of.
No, but that's amazing, though. That's amazing that he because what he taught you was something that you weren't going to be able to learn in school.
Absolutely not.
And that's real world experience that a lot of people miss out on at a very young age. On top of that, you got to make a little bread, so you got real world experience instead of
we was balling.
Wow.
I tell you what, I'm gonna say this, Gabriel, you'll remember this because Mr. Hill, he drove a beat up Ford Bronco. Was it a Bronco?
No, it was a Chevy Trail. It was a Chevy Trailblazer.
That was our junior year. So we did that 10th grade and 11th grade. When we came back senior year, he had a badass Lexus. And we were like, we bought that car. Let us drive, Mr. Hill. Let us drive your Lexus. He was like, yeah, no.
You know what? We're gonna. Is he still alive? We're gonna have to have him on.
He just had his
retired.
And we're actually getting ready as an alumni to do something big for him. No, man, he's one of those people. He has dedicated his life to not just the education of musicians, but promoting them and pushing them to that next level of musicianship, man. I contribute a lot of my success musically to him. I see a lot of what he's taught us in what Tomea does. A lot of the people that I've known that are in the music scene across the country that he's taught, I see it in them. He is one of those people, man. He's just, once you meet him, once you've been under his tutelage, man, there is no going back.
Yeah.
Like I was a football player until I met him. And then I was like, yo, if I don't go and study music under this guy, I don't think my life will be the same. And so I changed my entire adolescence to be under him.
Wow.
It's just that type of person, man. And to this day, man, I don't think any of us would be who we are without him, man.
Definitely not.
Well, we got to wrap things up. Tomea, where can people buy your music, find your music, find you performing at, follow you on social media? Where can they find you?
15% of anything that comes from this show.
Or book you for a show, because,
15%.
Gabriel Hush. They can follow me and find me at tomeanem.com, TOMEANEM.com. My Instagram is also Tomea Nem. My Facebook is Tomea Nem. And they can type my name, Tomea, into Amazon, Spotify, Deezer, Tidal, Pandora, basically anywhere you can find music, wherever you get your music online, it is there available for download and stream. Go ahead and download it. So I keep them little nice
and Nem, N-E-M, right? Nem.
Yeah, Tomea, T-O-M-E-A-N-E-M. Tomea Nem. Like the mama Nem.
It took me a minute to realize that as well. Tomea and
I knew that the minute I saw Tomea Nem.
Who was singing down to the thing? Tomea Nem.
Love it. Well, can I before we get out of here? Can I play your song? Is that all right? If I leave it on the tail end of this song,
sure.
I'm gonna leave it on the tail end of the song. We want to thank you so much for hanging with us, and I can't wait. I can't wait to see you perform live. I'm definitely gonna have to make a trip out to Dallas.
Yeah, come on down.
Hey, listen, Dunn. One of your good friends just gave her a lot of praise and accolades.
Lunel, I heard Lunel was in love with you. We're gonna.
Yes.
I got.
He is one of my favorite comedians, and I was like, "She's in the audience." They were like, "Lunel is here," and I was like, "What? That's my favorite."
She's an amazing woman. She was in Dallas. She had knee surgery.
Yeah, both of her knees.
And both her knees, and so she was hanging out at her sister's place for a few months. I'm going to work on getting her on the show. She's supposed to be back out here in LA, and we're supposed to go out and have dinner. And she's an amazing friend, and she's dope.
Really is, and she was like, "Hit me in my DM, girl, because we're gonna work together." I was like, and people are Hollywood, and they're always like, "Come."
Let me tell you something.
I DM'd her, and she responded. She was like, "Hey, girl, listen." I was like, "What?"
Listen, I've been over Lunel's house. She put on Earth, Wind, and Fire on video cassette, and we sat there, ate some soul food, and kicked it. I mean, she's truly authentic and an amazing woman.
Me and my husband watch her Hey Lunel show. We love her. We went when she came to Dallas. We were there. It was like 2 weeks later after we met. But she the bomb.
Diva. All right. Well, Tomea, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I can't wait to see you live in concert, and I will definitely make it to Dallas. And thank you for sharing all these embarrassing stories about gay.
Wow. Is that what we're doing now? Is
That's
that
exactly what we're doing? Now I know where to go to get some high school stories about you. And tell your husband thank you for allowing us to steal you for an hour or so, and much love and much success on everything. Okay.
Oh, thank you. God bless you, and you guys too.
All right. Bye bye. Wow, what an amazing! Wow, she is extremely dope. She is like wow.
Yeah, man. Listen, I can't even count the years, man, that we've known each other, and she's been the exact same personality throughout the years, and you can't do nothing but love her big energy.
Yeah.
And you know, when I think of singers and I think of talented vocalists, I think of Whitney Houston.
Mm-hmm.
I think of Patti LaBelle. I think of Shaka Khan, and I think of Tomea.
Wow.
That is my reality, man. It is.
She's so comfortable in her own skin, and it's always great to see a woman like that, to a performer like that who's just comfortable singing it out. So I'm gonna before we end this, or as we end this show, I'm gonna play her song on the tail end of this, and just
let it rip, man. I'm gonna sit back and enjoy it.
You can find this all on YouTube, which is exactly where I'm playing this from. Gabe, until next week, I'll catch you and on another episode of Today.